drop him. One hook and I'll rock him. One more and I'll stop him. Call the fighter, I'll off him. Op him. If he reach, then I'll pop him. Street sweeper, I'll wash him. Homicide, come and chalk him. Drop him. One hook and I'll rock him. One more and I'll stop him. Call the fighter, I'll off him. Op him.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Alex, Krassyuk explains how Fury ducked Usyk to fight Dillian Whyte. Now, if you've been watching our previous segments, you know that this has been getting heated. And so Alex actually says that Fury ducked Usyk because, as we previously discussed, we thought Anthony Joshua refused to step aside and all that. Well, he explains that there was actually a route for Undisputed and Fury chose not to do it. Let's take a listen and then we'll discuss it. What is it?
Listen, can I just say this? G's now 199% sure in Fury.
What?
All right, let's take a listen.
And he likes him.
Yeah, y'all are the worst.
Normally, most people expect Fury to win. And if he wins, we have everything on board. We have Queensberry, we have K2, we have Usyk team, we have Usyk himself. We have our Saudi partners ready and willing to stage the fight. So there's only one personality pending, a tall gypsy man. So we need to get his consent. If he's not afraid to lose his title, if he's not afraid to face Usyk, if he's not afraid just to be a man and to step into the ring with a more skilled and more experienced fighter than he is, then we have a big fight. He can win. This is boxing. He's taller, he's stronger, he's whatever, but he shouldn't be afraid of Usyk. That's what we want him to be like.
I've heard some comments before. Do you think he's afraid of Usyk? I've seen Eddie Hearn mention that he doesn't want to fight Alexander Usyk. Eddie Hearn has said Tyson Fury does not want to fight Alexander Usyk many a time before. But what do you think? Do you think he's avoided him before?
Yes, I think he's avoiding him before. It's not a disrespectful comment. Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of fact. Last year, he had a chance to fight for the Undisputed. Dillian Whyte agreed to step aside. Anthony Joshua, who had the immediate rematch clause with Usyk, agreed to step aside. Our partners in Middle East agreed to stage this fight. So, and there was only one thing that was pending. It's Tyson's consent to take it. Yeah. And he didn't give it. That's a problem.
So last year, everything was done. Only he had to accept, and he chose not to.
He didn't. And commenting those figures on 65 million, and he dropped off. This is bullshit. Usyk is the only reason why this fight was shifted from December to further, because the initial fight with Anthony Joshua was scheduled for July 21st.
Yeah.
And our plan was, when we were binding with the organization in Saudi to stage 2 fights until the end of 2022, it was with the condition that the first fight takes place no later than July 21st.
Yeah.
So it was shifted for 1 month, and we had to shift the next fight for 1 month because Usyk has the plan for recovery and then coming back to training. Yeah. So, and if we shift it for 1 month, we end up in January, which is not really best month for staging. Exactly. So that's why we moved it for February. So there's no conspiracy behind it. It's very simple. It's very transparent. And Usyk never said a single word that he wants to avoid this fight. But we heard a lot of stuff from Tyson trying to escape from it.
With all due respect.
So that's what Alex, a member of Usyk's team, had to say. He said last year this fight could have happened in Saudi Arabia. He said that Dillian Whyte agreed to step aside. He said Anthony Joshua agreed to step aside. He said everyone was on board except Tyson Fury. So he's saying that now he hopes the fight can happen, but he expressed that his concern, again, is that Tyson Fury may not take the fight. I'm turning it over to you, Conspiracy. What's your reaction to what Alex had to say, particularly about Fury not taking the fight last year and his concern about Fury not taking the fight moving forward?
All right, hold on. I'm gonna ask some clarifying questions. So this is my first time hearing this, everyone, so please forgive me. Now, during that time, right, are we saying that so everything was negotiated, Saudi Arabia was going to allow Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, but nobody knew about it? I don't know, man. This sounds funny to me.
What are you talking about? That was a huge discussion. Remember, we talked about it because we were like, is AJ really going to take step aside money to let Usyk fight Tyson Fury for undisputed? We had topics about it.
Hold on. Nah,
yeah, we did.
Hold on. In Saudi Arabia, I remember that Eddie Hearn was trying to negotiate Tyson Fury versus AJ in Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole wild.
That was before Usyk fight, bro. After Usyk beat Anthony Joshua, we were having discussions because remember, they were talks because AJ had a rematch clause, and Usyk and Fury were talking to have undisputed in Saudi Arabia, and we were like, "Yo, would you look down on AJ if he took step aside money?" And we were like, "Yo." Not too many people go into immediate rematches, so we will look down on AJ like that.
I almost forgot about that. Yeah. But however, remember, I remember AJ said no. You know what I mean? And that we even talked about.
That's not what Alex is saying. We received a report that AJ
watch how I believe this guy Alex when AJ himself said no, I want the rematch. You see what I'm saying? And again, I'm not even a Fury fan, but this just seems random that this guy is claiming that everything was all set, and Tyson Fury refused to have undisputed for a huge payday. Like, bro, that don't even sound right, man. I'm being honest. It sounds real fishy.
It's right. Nobody's going to. This guy ain't lying, G. You know this guy ain't. I'm sorry. I don't know,
man. I don't know. This guy I'm going based upon what I heard AJ say, and AJ said he wanted that rematch.
Why would AJ just come out and admit that he was willing to step aside?
What was wrong with that?
That's because he was getting backlash for it.
That was the truth. The truth is the truth. You gotta stand on your square. You know what I mean? Like, and AJ don't seem like a liar to me. You know what I mean? So, like, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna say this. I don't believe Tyson Fury ducked Usyk, just like I don't believe Tyson Fury is ducking Usyk now. You know, like, it doesn't make sense that AJ, who has a rematch clause in his contract to run it back with Usyk, now y'all telling me that AJ was going to allow Tyson Fury to go for undisputed, you know, knowing that Eddie Hearn has done everything in his power to have undisputed for AJ. You know what I'm saying? Remember, this is the same Eddie Hearn that was negotiating with Saudi Arabia to have undisputed with Tyson Fury. And now out of nowhere, they're like, yo, AJ's team just said, yeah, we agree. You go ahead and do undisputed without us in Saudi Arabia. Like, come on, son.
This makes sense to me, actually, but I'll explain it.
Oh, you said which one?
What makes perfect sense to me?
Oh, all right. Well, I'm confused, bro. So y'all can go ahead. I don't believe him. I'm just gonna.
You don't believe him, but I just went to go just check his credibility. Everybody just says this guy is such a love this guy, so honest, great businessman. You know what I'm saying? Great interview. He's such a class act. Everybody, this is what people say. Who to believe? The straight talking bloke who no one has ever said a bad word against, or the bipolar contradicting guy.
Who is Alex?
In the last 3 weeks,
he's on Usyk's team, on his management team.
He's been around box for a round, and he said Fury was the only one acting for a Chisora trilogy, and he said everybody says this guy is realistic and honest and respected. Everybody co-signs this guy as being, you know what I'm saying? So many fangirls rushing to Fury's defense like he doesn't lie every 2 minutes. Everybody is always trying to listen. I'm just saying it like this. Everybody is obvious that everybody sees that Usyk is, they're not saying that Usyk can beat Fury, but everybody can see that Usyk is some type of competition against Fury, except for the chef, G. Everybody sees that he's some type of threat.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not food. Everybody else says they thinks he's not food, except for you. This is what it's showing. Everybody, even Tyson Fury himself, he's talking all this crap, but he knows this man is not. That's why he avoided this man. He knows he's not afraid, but he knows that this is a tough test. If he's food, this is going to be some hard food to swallow. It's going to be some hard food to swallow.
Yo, Crab, you got to break the shell.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to be able to break that crab. He's going to be allergic to seafood. That's what it sounds like. He's going to need a shot. If he's going to eat that crab, he's going to need a shot because he's going to be blown up in the face, swelling up in the face. That's what it's looking like, man. Because it's basically, that's what it's showing to me. And I'm not going to take the credibility from this guy and say, who's this guy? This you know, I'm not going to disrespect this man. He's saying what he is, and he's standing on his fact. This guy got a good credibility as being honest and a respectable guy. We're not going to crap on him. All we're going to say is this. Everybody is showing that Usyk is some type of threat. He's not just some fool. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, but hold on. Can I at least provide one thing?
No, sir. Yeah, you could. G. Go ahead. Go ahead, G.
I'm saying boxing has a long history of everyone lying. Everyone, and they have to lie. Al Heyman, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren. You know, like all of these guys lie for to promote their fighter. You know what I'm saying? So he could, and not to mention, he could be telling the truth, but he don't know what's the inner workings between Bob and Frank Arum's side. You know, so he could be making these assumptions like, "Oh, Fury was ducking us." Does he actually know that? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like where AJ may want to fight, but Eddie Hearn doesn't want to fight. So Eddie Hearn may be doing things behind AJ's back to make sure it doesn't happen. This happens in boxing. So Alex may be a great guy. I don't know him. This is my first time ever hearing of this guy. But I'm supposed to just believe him because he just said that because he seems like a nice guy. Like, man, go somewhere. Nice. I'm not co-signing none of that until I see some solid evidence. Like, yo, here's the contract. Here's the emails. They say, yeah, we good to go, and then they reneged or something. Then I could be like, all right, he got that. It takes months, and then it just popped up. This thing just reappeared out of nowhere, and he's like, oh, yeah. He was ducking Undisputed. Like, come on, son. I don't know, man. I want to believe you, though, Trill, and I want to believe Alex, but
he didn't come out there hating on him. He didn't come out there.
I don't know, man. This sounds like Undisputed
campaign. He's just saying, don't believe the hype. And he's coming out there calm, cool, collective. The guy that always told the truth when he said this fight's gonna happen, this is gonna do, this is how we're gonna move. You know what I'm saying? Just go off of all you gotta do is go off of what you done seen in the past. And this guy has been a stand-up guy. He's been straightforward. And then you got
scumbags could smile in your face, Trill.
You know what I'm saying?
So that don't mean anything to me.
Nah, I'm just saying, going off of what they show. I'm just saying, going off of what they show. You know what I'm saying? But all that aside, what I'm gathering from this is everybody sees that Usyk is a tough match. That's basically it all. That's what it's showing me. That he's not fooled. Tyson Fury's not overlooking him, looking at him like he's some fool. That's all it's showing me.
All right, TV.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it like this. It's never definite. Like, you just always say a fighter ducked this, a fighter ducked that. But I'm not gonna say Fury ducked. I'm just gonna say there was a lot of contractual issues that was going on when they were trying to make Fury versus Usyk, and when the demands weren't met, and when people felt like, when both sides felt like things didn't equate to what they wanted, they just dropped it. And it's not a duck, because I feel both fighters feel like
you do realize that based on what Alex said, there was an agreement from everyone except Tyson Fury.
Yeah, everyone.
What you're saying it doesn't apply to the situation. It sounds like you're talking about the Joshua negotiations.
No, I'm talking about this. Like, he said, everybody except the fighters. So if
everyone except Fury.
Everyone except Fury. So
yeah.
Fury didn't agree, or Fury agreed or didn't agree.
He's saying that Queensberry Promotions and their team were in agreement. Usyk was in agreement. Saudi Arabia had the date, the money, and was in agreement, and Fury's the one who didn't give consent and didn't sign the fight. That's what he's saying.
Hey, man.
Oh no, I'm gonna defend you, Ned. You know why I'm calling cap? Because Dillian Loudmouth Whyte would have been exposed everybody on this, bro.
Yeah.
And he ain't say this. Why ain't Dillian Whyte air him out like he always airs out everybody else when they shook and ducking?
He gave Joshua jeans, yo.
Come on,
Yo,
son.
Dillian agreed to step aside, bro.
Did he? I don't know that for a fact. I need to see this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
Man, listen, everybody's seen this interview. Everybody would have came out saying cap or something by now, man.
When this interview come out?
3 days ago.
3 days ago? Man,
Give it a week.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit this, Alex.
After a week, we're gonna come back to this topic.
We ain't gonna say nothing.
I wanted to say this. It's just so much going on in boxing, and we expect so much of our fighters, and we want the best to fight the best. I just want to say this. It's just
still acting like this dude's his bestie, man. True, you just met this guy just a second ago. We don't know who the hell this guy is. True, was like, that's my
cousin. That's my cousin and them. It
was like
my cousin and them partner.
Like 3 comments. He honorable. You know?
That's my cousin and them partner, man. What you talking about? He brother Usyk and them.
Look, man, let me get in here. Look, I believe him. The reason why I believe him is because like it makes sense. Now the issue is I don't think that Fury not taking the fight is proof of a duck. I think that Fury rejected the fight hoping that AJ would beat Usyk, so he could fight AJ for undisputed. So I do believe that they had it all lined up, and Fury was like, well, since he has to fight the bodybuilder again anyway, let's see if he beats the bodybuilder. So so Fury's thinking, you fight the bodybuilder, I'll fight Dillian Whyte, and we'll revisit this. Because I don't think he was worried about Dillian at all. I think Fury knew he was going to beat the brakes off Dillian. So I think in his mind, he's like, it's more beneficial to fight Dillian, see if Anthony Joshua can beat Usyk. And if he does, then I'm going to get a massive payday. And if he doesn't, then we'll go from there. Because the reality is AJ is the cash cow. AJ's the payday. And if AJ would have got his belts back in an immediate rematch against Alexander Usyk and became 3-time champion, I think Fury versus AJ would have been huge in the UK. So I think that's why he rejected the fight. I don't think he rejected the fight because, go ahead, G.
And to add, I just don't see how Eddie Hearn would agree to allow Undisputed to happen without a fighter that he represents. I just don't see how that benefits Eddie Hearn.
I see how it benefits him because if he allows AJ to step aside, they make money. Then Fury goes fights Usyk. If Fury beats Usyk, that wipes Usyk off, and AJ doesn't have to worry about fighting Usyk in a rematch to get his belts again. And he probably believes that Fury's a better matchup for AJ than Usyk because Usyk's skill set and what Usyk brings to the table. So I'm telling you, if Fury would have gone and beat Usyk and fought Anthony Joshua, because you already know he has to come back to AJ because AJ's the money man. So he would have come back to AJ. They would have got it on, and AJ beats Fury in Eddie's mind. No one's going to be saying, yeah, but AJ lost to Usyk. They're going to be like, yeah, well, he got his belts back, right? Now let's say hypothetically, Usyk beats Tyson Fury. That still helps AJ because now Usyk beat AJ and he beat Tyson Fury, and now he's undisputed. So now he's going to rematch Anthony Joshua, and now Anthony Joshua gets a shot at the undisputed belt. That's how it would have helped him to step aside. So I do see how it could help him. You know what I mean? So it makes sense to me. Now, Dillian Whyte, on the other hand, I don't know why he would agree to step aside. But then again, I do know why he would agree to step aside after seeing how he looked against Jermaine Franklin. Because, you know, it's just a matter of time before someone put his lights out. You know, they need to put the new last bag is Daniel Dubois versus Dillian Whyte, but that's a different discussion. But nah, I do see how all these things can happen. I think boxing politics played a role in it, but I don't think Fury was afraid. But I do think Fury avoided the fight because he was trying to see the outcome and see like, yo, what's best for me. He was gonna have to fight Dillian, and Usyk was gonna have to fight AJ. I think we all know what's the tougher fight, and I think we all know who Fury was rooting for in that fight. So that's what I think happened. I believe Alex, because why would Alex go that deep in detail to break it all down for no reason? And it wasn't like what he said wasn't logical or that it wasn't something we knew about.
Well, it was a smear campaign.
Yeah. And like he said, I'm not trying to disrespect him. It is fact. And then he broke it down. And then he went on. So I mean, I don't think Usyk's team is with the games, to be honest with you. We talk about teams that play games. Usyk's done everything he said he was going to do. He moved up. He fought who he said he was going to fight. Usyk said when he was going to step aside, he stepped aside. He was willing to step aside and let Fury and AJ do it, and they couldn't work it out. Usyk has been a man of his word 100% of the way. So if there's any one of these camps I would listen to, I listen to Usyk, because they just don't seem like they're with the games. Like, whereas we know what Bob Arum's about, we know what Frank Warren's about, we know what Al Haymon's about, we know what Tyson Fury's about. But Usyk is just, I don't think that's how they're built. I don't think that's how they move. I don't think they play those games. Like, remember when Eddie Hearn went to Saudi Arabia and negotiated all the stuff for Fury and AJ, and then it didn't happen. And everyone, he had Yoke on his face, and everyone was like, they knew they were going to fight Wilder again anyway. They just made Eddie do all that. I don't think Usyk's team's that way. They wouldn't do that. Like, I just don't get that vibe from him. But you're right, G. Anything's possible. He could be making it up. But if you're asking me, do I find what he said credible? I do find it credible. So that's just my position on it. But I don't think Fury was afraid. So I don't think I'm gonna say this. I don't think Fury thinks there's a man alive that can beat him. That's my personal opinion. I don't think he's worried about anyone beating him.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing.